What's up guys, I'm Dunmere, a top 100 Overwatch main tank player, and I'm going to show you guys how to play Wrecking Ball. So Wrecking Ball didn't really get too many changes from the Overwatch one, right? It got an increase on the boop distance, kind of rebuff from what had been nerfed down to. It got some extra shields from 75 to 100 per player, and it's on a wider range. And it also got a buff to its HP. So, pretty like healthy amount of buffs, and kind of gives this character just a lot of extra capability to just frag out. So, what do you do on the character? Really, you want to be focusing on playing this character like a flanker, right? You're kind of just like a big, juicy tracer, and if you don't really, play a lot of tracer, you're just always coming from angles, always aggressing into the enemy team and hunting down whatever is most vulnerable on their team. So you kind of just have to like look at the team composition that they're playing and see which one like is the least mobile and the most valuable to kill. So, for example, usually, just like a quick tip for that, it's almost always going to be one of their supports, and it's going to be whatever support just can't defend itself as well. So when you're playing against something like a Mercy, you're always going to want to kill the Mercy because you won't be able to kill through whatever you're like. The Mercy will just pocket whatever you're trying to kill. But in this composition, it's definitely going to be like their Ana, I guess. I swapped. Maybe it's bugged out. It's a Baptiste. I don't know. Zenyatta? I don't know. It's gotten weird. Whatever. I guess we just somehow kill a Genji. That's a little bit silly, but now it's definitely the Zenyatta. The Zenyatta is definitely what I want to go for. So you're going to want to always come from the side where they're not expecting you and just look to frag them. Put a big slam into it, see what you get out of it. If you get good value, then you keep going. If you didn't, you kind of just stop, right? And then from there, it's all opportunistic. So I'm going to look to watch these choke points here and see where they're going, and then I'm going to look to, slam wherever they go from that. You are a main tank, so you still want to focus on like playing for guarding chokes and not letting them get through these areas that are really, really dangerous. But you'll get like a lot of value out of that. I just barely didn't get him. So I let them in through the open space a little bit. And this is a perfect time to hit your ult on them, slam them, get them stuck in a corner. Again, in this situation, like I said, if something's killable like that, you're really, really going to want to go for it. And in other circumstances, you're going to want to like not as much, just because you won't be able to kill through whatever it is. So if something's being like healed too hard, it's just kind of like a situation of, okay, go next, right? Now, something you saw me do there was use my hook twice. So if I'm going for like a hit on something like right here, right? You hit them and then you go around and go for another one, right? It's just a really useful way to get two values out, like two whole usages out of your ability that you normally would only get one out of. It takes a little bit of work, but just holding on to it, you always get a lot of opportunities to use it in. All right, so now that we're at a neutral position, I want to be getting out there as fast as possible. I'm going to go to, wow, that's so fast. I'm going to be going down to coast because that's usually what I like to go for. I like to slam it right when they get in like a kill box. So right when they enter open space is really like when you want to be going for it. Just like this sort of a thing. Went a little bit early there, but it doesn't really, matter too much a lot of time. Playing it split like this, you go to focus it. Easy clap. So nice thing about like looking to just be adaptive and holding onto your hooks like I just did there is I wanted to get out there because I want to go get some health, but I saw that I could stay longer because of my HP. Like I'm not 100% quite used to like how much extra HP you get from having your shields. Like I am consistently a lot higher HP than I would be in another situation. But this is a perfect slam right here. Boom, right in the open. They aren't dealing with me, and that's that. Like this character is honestly going to be like super OP. Unless they do something about the, like unless the enemy like pops a Sombra, right? You can win this fight by popping my ult, so I'm gonna go for it. Like you usually want to use it when you're just like opening up a fight, essentially. But when I'm in a situation where it's enough to like, hold them off and buy time, it's really useful. So I popped right there, they can no longer push in, and then that fight's like, winnable. Right there. And as you can see, I use the double technique to just get some extra guaranteed damage on them. I think the D.Va saw me there, but again, I'm gonna go for the same sort of thing. Wait till I see what I want to go for. Go for the Kiriko. Probably gonna dash away from me, but that just means she went to her team, so. Yeah. Like I said again, it's basically impossible to like actually properly get a kill on something that's not a Mercy when she's ulting, or really like when she's in the game, because she will just pocket it if she's good. Ooh, ooh. Ah, we went a little bit too hard there. That's fine though. The other character gets back fast. Now, I don't believe in dying on ball. Like, I know a lot of people kind of end up just feeding a lot. I really like to live. I think it lets you be available more times when you need to. But when we're retaking like this, you just try to be sneaky. Reaper's going to scout me out there, so I'm going to go to the other side. And I'm going to wrap all the way on the enemy team and look for a dive on like whatever's available mainly. This Soldier 76 is a good option just to help deal with him. Oh, my team died, so you don't go in on that. I want my team to chill, just get back. I'm gonna go to their backline because I get a free opportunity to do that. You do need to hide though, or people can just kind of chase you down, especially if they have like a tracer or something like that. But when we get our fight back, I'm just gonna walk into these guys and I'm gonna toss my ult into them. Right into the core. Whenever we're all back. Or whenever we start engaging. And now's the opportunity. Soldier's in my mind so he can die. And the Mercy walked into my mines there. So that's what you get from like just good mine placement in general. Like, you do gotta have to learn like the timing on it, but you can very consistently get like another usage of the hook. Like, you have to kind of release it right when you're about to get towards the edge of it essentially, but you can get a lot from it. Like, it's one of the more advanced, just consistent brain power usages of hook, because instead of having it only one usage, if you just think about what you can do with it, then it's gonna get you a lot of value. Little swipes like that are kind of like whatever, you can go for them sometimes. I ended up taking a chunk of damage that I didn't really want to take, but like in Overwatch 1 I would have been worried about like engaging in this sort of circumstance, but in this game I'm definitely chilling a lot more, just because I have so much more HP. And there's not the same stuns, to be honest. Like, you're really free to just engage like so much more consistently. And you really do want to be trying to engage like as much as possible, as frequently as possible. Like, as you guys can see, every time I'm available to go, like right now I'm thinking and kiting away, and I'm like, all right, can I go back in 3 seconds, sort of a thing? And that's really what you want to do with the character. All right, guys, so I thought there'd be some more that we should talk about in regards to engagement timings and locations, and very particularly in regard to uptime. So this character really thrives on uptime because you have so much HP and even more now, and you're stunned so less. You can just keep going back in over and over again. So as you're gonna see in this fight here, when I engage with my mines, we'll see if I just actually win it straight off. But you're gonna basically see me like going in once and then continuously just pushing it, right? So I hit it and I'm waiting to basically see like what comes from this ability. Like right here, I split someone, right? And we're gonna try and finish that kill. But I still have enough health to re-engage. And I'm really close to my adaptive shields. That means I go back in, right? And I'm basically kind of like watching my own health to constantly keep pushing it. And like I said, you really do just super often just have like way too much HP, to be completely honest. Just because of how much healing you'll get. Now, you know, if you get ulted by a Roadhog, that kind of changes that, but you don't have things in the game that were hard stunning you as much. Like, yeah, there's Sombra, so you gotta be careful about that, but Brigitte, Cassidy won't be able to punish you like they used to be able to, so you're really good. Again, I'm gonna be basically looking for like a good little choke point that I can engage on the enemy, assuming they don't see me. Sometimes you do kind of have to run it down mid and just like go for them when they're in the open space. Like, when my team's available, I'm gonna go and hit them right in the corner here because they are in the open space, and at least you'll stop marking me. So give her a hit of the back line. Didn't quite get what I want from my team, is pushed a little bit farther up, but that doesn't really, you know, stop me from doing what I want to do. Haven't used my adaptive shields yet. We're still able to go back in, and it'll still get like a bunch of value. Ooh, come here, Tracer. One, bro. He's one. Thanks for the res, man. Again, these fights honestly end up turning a lot into this, like, really, like, permanent, consistent fights because there's just less like damage to secure fights and the tanks are tankier. Particularly playing against something like a Roadhog, you're gonna want to have like a, you're just not gonna have quite what you need to be able to kill them. A lot of times, so the fights go really long. So the more you can go in, the even better, right? You clap. Now, obviously if something ends up feeding into you and just playing, then that's that. So on a push map here, you're gonna want to predict like where the bot's gonna be at by the time you hit somebody, and you're gonna look for like a nice choke point where you want to engage in them, or a nice open space, right? Obviously, you don't really want to force them into that. So this open area is a really good spot if the... Hey, we're not pushing the bot. That's a little bit sad. Like this nice open space we kind of lost here. That Sojourn has like a lot better protection now, but she is split from her team, so I'm gonna go for her. Get caught in the ceiling. This character is a dive character, so like from like a micro perspective of what you want to be doing, anytime an enemy like splits from their team, it's a good opportunity for you to go for it. Because, either you'll like get the kill or you'll very consistently be able to force them to use a bunch of resources to go for that. Also, if a Tracer pushes into you like that, with that like sort of just like absolute lack of respect on you, that probably means they're going to try and pulse bomb you. That was obviously very telegraphed, but even high level players will do that kind of stuff. Now this is a choke point where they might want to go through, so I'm going to try and contest it. And if not, I'm going to go hit them from main. And the Sojourn not looking split enough from their team. As soon as the enemy pushes through the high ground, pushes through the side passage, that's where I'm going to go for them. This is enough of a trigger for me to do it. You do play off of triggers, so you play off of like opportunities of like seeing the enemy low, but you also really do play off of like the enemy making mistakes too, and really honestly just like forcing things to happen, because you do have so much HP and so much sustain now. It doesn't really like have to be as much of a completely forced opportunity. And on these push maps too, it's fine to like do like a soft reset essentially. Like you can go ahead and like hide away from the enemy team. You don't have to go for like these, like you don't have to win the fight every single time because of the way the payload like gets pushed back sort of thing. And so you can just kite away from it pretty consistently. Always contest things that are on the high ground. It's an awkward situation for me, but like this is one of those situations I kind of just force it on main. Their mines are completely split in half right now. If this Lucio wants to walk into my mines, then he can go for that. But yeah, so like, and even though I ended up putting some mines on the high ground, that was okay partially because the Sojourn can't really go there now, but also really just because like it allows me to get the coverage on either side of that choke point. So if they're in their like area, they're completely controlled. So again, predicting a spot that they're going to want to go into. This is a pretty neat little spot because you can go to the high ground from here, or you can go left side. But now that we have captured, I'm going to be trying to like push up, right? You do want to try and push your aggressiveness as much as possible. And as you can see, I did a little micro thing where I intentionally slammed more towards where I predicted the Tracer was going to go. I knew that she was going to blink, but I wasn't going to be able to like actually hit her consistently if I didn't do it like that. Wow, things just actually don't die anymore. Again, you lose it, you kite it out, but it doesn't really matter too much. Oh, Mercy, go. I do want to try and take this high ground though with my Reaper. Always try and defend your teammates like that. Like it takes some like pretty quick reactions, but you can get some pretty solid little pushes on enemies. If you push a hog that hooks somebody, they're dealt with basically. And yeah, that's a lot of the reason why you want to be like as unpredictable as possible. That's because if you do let them see you, they can do things like push you off like that. But through this choke point's an excellent spot for me to go in. Ah, this is perfect. A nice little slam on them. Lucio's low. Maybe I can secure that kill. Looking like no, he heals himself a pretty decent amount now. Same sort of thing, but this time I'm popping my ultimate. I'm popping it to counter their ultimates, but also because they're in a really good spot for it. Nice big coverage. The whole field is basically covered in it. That's like, it doesn't have always like the most effective kill potential some other things do, but what it'll let you do is just cover everything. And because you're covering everything, the enemy doesn't have the ability to like spread out as easily. Like they have just so much more things, like extra things to worry about. So it's pretty powerful. Really open space. I'd love to engage the enemy here, but our little dude's not here yet. Is anywhere there in open space or when they're walking through a choke point, but instead they backed up to a better position for them. I'm gonna go for something a little bit more intriguing here and try and push someone away from their team. So I wanted them to not be in that space, but I didn't want to push them into my team as much. I decided to like go for a push away from the team. But again, it wasn't quite enough there. So I ended up losing that game, but you know, whatever. It'd be like that sometimes. You just really want to be paying a lot of attention to being as active as possible, going in as frequently as you can. As you can see, anytime I'm going in, I'm looking to immediately go right back in with another option, with either like pushing through them with just my roll or staging for like a really fat slam and just alternating those. Like right here, you can see, go for another slam, hit him twice with it because I held on to it, go for the kill, and that's that. But immediately the fight's still going on, I get my hook back and I'm like, okay, it's time to go again, right? If you're looking for some more Overwatch 2 content, then make sure to check out these videos I have right here. Like I said, I'm a top 100 Overwatch player, so I have lots of videos and things to share with you guys.